Hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in. This is Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. In Your Head, online.com. Thank you for tuning in.
All right, we're back, and now we're joined by the former member of Cryme Tyme. We have Shad Gaspard on the line. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you, Instrument?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Now, we were going to actually have you on a few months ago, and a big incident happened. You had to reschedule, and now we got you back. And I assume it's been all cleared up. I read about that. You want to tell everybody what happened, and or can you even talk about it?
Well, just the whole jaywalking in Columbus. Everything was taken care of nice and neat. Basically, it's just an old story. A cop with a badge has an ego, and he took it out on the wrong person. And he tried to make himself look like a big deal afterwards, not realizing who I was and what I could have done to him, and who the other people with me were, and what we could have done to them, and how we were actually acting very, very calm in a very violent situation. So, but, the district attorney asked for an apology from him. I didn't want one. They asked if I wanted money. I didn't want any. I just wanted the whole situation to be over with, and I'm glad it's over with in a nice and neat way.
Yeah. Were you glad that people there to catch it on tape and whatnot?
Well, the thing about it was that a lot of people assume, because we're one way on TV, that means we're that same exact way in public.
Right.
We're more than just VCI. We're not just wrestlers, who walk around saying, "Let me tell you something, brother." We're more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying we're fathers, we're husbands, we're sons, we're brothers. Saying we're men, and we know how to conduct ourselves in public. This is in the '80s. There's a camera everywhere, and they're always watching us, and we're taught that from day one. So we know how to act. We know how to treat people. We know how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm. Now, we'll go back to wrestling now, and everyone wants to call in. It's 508-644-8503. And I always want to know just how did Cryme Tyme even come about? Whose idea was it?
Well, actually, you know what? Paul Haley actually brought me and Jay together. I was by myself, being a singles wrestler, and I was going off on the road from OVW to WWE, working some house shows. And Paul Haley had an idea to part me up with a Flavor Flav type character, that would bounce around me. He wanted me to have a whole stable, but I really wasn't, down for that because I didn't like sharing the spotlight. So we settled on me just having one person with me, and that was Jay, because I'd known Jay for a while, and I trusted him.
Mm-hmm. Now, some people thought the gimmick itself was kind of racist. Some people liked it. Did you have any problems with it?
It seems like, we came up with everything we did and had free liberty to do whatever we want. Not really. Vince never asked me to do anything that I felt that I didn't want to do. He never asked me to do anything with fried chicken or watermelons or,
right.
Shucking and jiving and stuff. It was pretty much basically whatever we wanted to do, we did. And whatever we didn't want to do, we didn't do. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you grow up a wrestling fan?
Huh?
Did you grow up as a wrestling fan? Was this something you always watched?
Oh, my God. Hell yeah, I did. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and my family were from the island. So wrestling is part of our culture. As a matter of fact, when I first became a wrestler, I went back home to Curaçao to visit my great-great-grandmother. And she was dying, and she was 105 years old. Oh. And so I walked to the room where she laid, and at 105, she was still very aware of everything going on. And I was like, "Grandma, how you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, baby, come here, I can't see you." And so I came close, and I was like, "Is this good, Grandma?" She said, "Come closer." I was like, "Is this good, Grandma?" She said, "Come closer. I was like, "Is this good, Grandma?" And she put her arms around my neck, and she said, "Ha, headlock." Because she was a big wrestling fan when I was a kid, and my father was a big wrestling fan, and he used to take us to Madison Square Garden, me and my brother, and he used to have us watch like Hulk Hogan, Coco Beware, the Bulldogs, everybody, and we just fell in love with pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm. That's actually how I watch it too. I watch with my grandparents; they're huge fans. My grandmother's still a huge fan of wrestling. Were you definitely were you into the baby faces, or were you into the heels? Or
when you're a kid, you don't know what a baby face or a heel is.
Right.
You just know that You just feel you like the big guy with the football pads and the spikes. The guy who comes out and runs back and forth. I love the giant muscle guy. You know, I was enamored by the people around me. You know, I didn't realize you could get that big and that strong. You know, and I just knew when I was a kid, I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be big and strong, just like that. You know, and it's like I listen to Hulk Hogan, I said my prayers, ate my vitamins. I listened to Rocky Johnson. You know, I did the shuffle and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And I watched Tony Atlas, and I was impressed by him because he had such a huge upper body and lower body, but a small waist. And I was like, man, I want a body like that when I grow up. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually still has that body. I don't know if you've seen him lately.
Yeah, I know. And I tell Tony all the time, man, he's a young man trapped in an old man's body. So he's just trying to keep it.
Yeah. So speaking of the Hawks, actually, did you see Hogan at Bound for Glory the other night?
You know, guys, to be totally honest with you, I really haven't had any time to catch up on the wrestling business. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm so busy doing what I got to do, you know, in my current career that it's just like I really haven't had much time.
Mm-hmm. We got some people here on the line. Crystal, you got a question for Shad?
Hey, Shad, how's it going?
How you doing today, Crystal?
I'm doing well, thanks. Big fan of Cryme Tyme. Really liked the group and what y'all did. What was your favorite moment of being in Cryme Tyme?
You know what? I honestly think my favorite moment of being in Cryme Tyme was just the things that D&J did on the road. I mean, there are a lot of things. I have a picture in on my laptop of Jay in the gayest position ever, eating chicken on a bed. And it's like I was looking at the computer and I found that and it just made me laugh. I think my favorite time is just when we're on the road, we had so many funny things happen to us that those memories can't be replaced, you know?
Yeah. No, you and JTG, you were the big man. He was the quick guy. Did you guys like mesh right away in the ring?
Well, you know, I'm big and quick, so
that's true.
I'm big, quick, and athletic, so you know, there's some things I wasn't allowed to do because you're not allowed to, you know, make the little guys not look a certain way. Mm-hmm. You know, there's an unfair rule about that with certain agents and certain people in WWE. But no, me and Jay always matched up. We knew our roles when we had to play them. We played our positions when it was necessary. And that was the best thing about our team, is that we really didn't have an ego. You know, Jay would literally, on most nights, take a really bad beating. And if we were on a tour or something like that, if he took a beating 2 nights, I made sure they could beat in 2 nights. If he took a beating 3 nights, I made sure they could beat 2 nights. You know? Mm-hmm. You know, I just made sure that I kept my, you know, my partner's body as healthy as mine. You know, because being the big guy, there wasn't a lot guys could do to me. But I still try to put myself in positions to where I can make everybody in the ring look good. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Intro, you got a question?
Yeah, I had a question. I was just wondering, what were your feelings on your feud with JTG?
We what?
You had your match with JTG.
You know what? Totally honestly, man, the match itself was so not what we wanted to do, but we were happy with it because we got a good point across. And the only bad part about the match was the ending was supposed to be something totally different, and we weren't told, which is something that rarely happens, but it seemed to happen to us a lot. You know, when we started feuding. I mean, I don't know if you guys, you know, listen to a lot of the radio shows, but actually one of the writers who was on the writing team at the time, he was released a while back ago. He has a radio show as well, and he let me know some information that I didn't know. Some I did know from hearsay, but actually after that match, I was supposed to be built up as the next big heel for the company. And Vince wanted me to, and I sat down as a conference with Vince, and he was ready for me to be the next big heel. And certain people in the organization didn't feel that I was ready for it. That after being with the company for 8 years, they came to the conclusion that that I couldn't wrestle. You know? So it's like, the only thing I felt bad about that feud was how I got shortchanged out of it. And I felt that, you know, that was the only negative about it.
Do you think, you guys were together so long that they didn't, when you guys finally broke up, that they didn't really capitalize on the feud, or what do you think just didn't work there?
No, honestly, man, Vince wanted to Vince capitalized on everything we did. Everything we did, Vince loved. He was capitalizing on it. He was like, yo, this is good. This is great. I'm liking everything you're doing. It feels real. It feels like you don't like him. You're not punching him like, a baby face. You're punching him and you're getting in his face, and we're creating an aura where you're not sure what's sports entertainment and what's real, because, and we made sure to have that come across. Me and Jay didn't ride in the same car. We saw each other in the airport. We got to fight in the airport one time while we were doing the feud, just to make sure fans knew that we weren't playing around. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we're supposed to live, in that scenario. The only thing I'm disappointed in was, other people's views of the match. Because, there was a spot that we wanted to do where I wanted to drag Jay outside, and I was going to pick him up for, the power slam. And I was going to run with him on my shoulder and power slam him off the steps. You know what I'm saying? And jump with him in midair, which is something I can do because I trained to do things like that. But it got ixnayed because somebody else was using the stairs in a totally different way that night. And that move without signing them, So.
Earlier when you brought up Paul Heyman, he said he put you guys together and all stuff. Well, what do you think of Paul Heyman as, my mind in wrestling? A lot of people say he's a genius. Would you agree with that?
No, I honestly, I have to disagree. Anybody who calls Paul Heyman a genius is disrespecting him. Paul Heyman is a motherfucking genius, okay? All the way through, all right? I mean, honestly, the mind that Paul has, he hides guys' weaknesses and accentuates their positive sides, which is something that's very rarely done in professional wrestling even right now. There's some wrestlers out there who were on top of the world and popular beyond belief, and they couldn't even wrestle. Because guys like Paul Heyman, they see the talent, and they see what the talent has, and they work with that talent. They don't try to force the talent to be something that they're not.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I was just wondering, when you said that the guy said, they're going to give you the big push, and then they said you couldn't work. Was there anything they told you to try to improve on, or what did they tell you?
Well, my big thing that I was told to improve on was I had to go to Florida, and basically I had to learn to play the game better. And I've been playing the game for about 8 years, and I've gotten really good at the game at that point. And I got good at the game to the point where, we're the most popular tag team in WWE without the tag team titles. And, besides DX, times that we were on the road, there was no other team as popular as us. So, and we never held the titles. And that's how good I got at playing the game. The only problem about playing the game is when you play the game for so long, you either lose yourself and become somebody you don't really like, or you become the person that you are supposed to be, which is a cold-hearted, cutthroat motherfucker. And I had at the time, I just got with my girl, and she became pregnant with my son. And honestly, once my son was born, I really didn't want to play the game so cold-heartedly and such a cutthroat anymore. Mm-hmm. Because I saw something in my son that was just so beautiful that I just, it makes you not want to be mean. It makes you not want to be nasty. It makes you not want to, bury guys and find any way to get yourself a match. So, when put in that position, they told me I need to go down to Florida and train harder and learn how to wrestle. But it's like, if you're sending me down to Florida to learn how to wrestle and train harder, and you just paid me for the last 8 years thousands and thousands of dollars, to not wrestle, I mean, that really doesn't make that much sense for me. Mm-hmm. So what I did go down to Florida. I did learn a lot from Richard Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes, Tom Pritchard. He thinks he didn't teach me anything. He taught me a lot. Norman Smiley taught me a lot as well. And a lot of other good guys, Midian. I I learned a lot from those guys while I was down there in Florida, and I was hoping to use them when I came back on the road, but that never came to.
Let's see here. Some more people on the line. Larry Higgins.
Good day. How's it going, boys?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Good question.
Shad, got a couple of questions for you. You're talking about the Florida Farm League. How would you compare that from your time in Ohio Valley Wrestling?
If I could really put it in any way, down in down in Florida, it's more like the beginning of Rocky III. You know, it's a nice facility. It's really clean. You got trainers. You got everybody there. You got, 1, 2, 3, 4 rings. You got everything you need. And down in OVW, it's more like the middle part of Rocky III. Eye of the Tiger. You really ain't got that much, but what you have, you use, and you work hard. And the building is cold in winter, it's warm in summer, and you sweat and you feel pain. But when you come out of it a better man. You come out of it respecting the business to a point where you appreciate it for everything you get.
I always read that you guys put together some vignettes of Cryme Tyme, and people saw them and they liked them. And they brought up. Was that true? Any of that? Yeah, actually, we were just putting together a vignette video for me and Jay versus Cade and CM Punk at Kentucky Summer Civil Series at Six Flags for OVW. And after we put the vignette together, Vince, called us. I was on the road, and Vince called me in the office. Was like, "Hey, we were going to be by yourself, and you're going to be a heel, or you can do this, homeboy gimmick of yours." He's like, "Which one do you want to do?" And I pretty much told him, I was like, I honestly want to be a singles competitor really bad, but I know the history of our business, and if you come in as a tag team and then go to singles, you'll have a long career. And he was like, "Yeah, that's true." I was like, "So now I'll do the tag team thing first." And I honestly, both of us didn't think people would respond to Cryme Tyme as well as they did, but we knew that if we had control of it, they would. And once Vince told us we had total control over saying what we wanted to say, except for that one time in Europe, you know what I'm saying, then we knew we were going to be off and running. So. Intro, did you have another question from the board?
Yeah, I had a question from La Blue Guy. He was wanting to know, are you still planning on getting into MMA?
Okay, this is a funny thing. I was never planning on going to MMA. I actually, I've been boxing since I was 5 years old. I've been doing martial arts since I was 8 years old. I've been doing amateur wrestling since I was 10 years old. I turned pro and started fighting when I was 16 years old. Fighting tough man competitions for hard body Harris because I was kicked out of my house and I needed money to eat. Okay, so I was already a pro fighter, and I stopped fighting about a year after I signed with WWE. Which when WWE first recruited me, I was still doing MMA fighting, and I was a bodyguard at the same time. And I was fighting fights, all around the country. Like they'll fly me in, I'll fight, and I'll fly out. And I was doing fights for about $400 to $500 because at the time MMA was not big in the States, and I knew I couldn't fly outside the country to do anything. So, I was already an MMA fighter. I didn't want to go back. The thing that everybody thought I was becoming an MMA fighter is because I was trained with friends of mine, like who were legitimate MMA fighters and who were some of the best in the world. And when people saw me train with them, they couldn't put two and two together that they're just my friends and we're just training. So they just assumed that I was going to become a fighter again, which I never stopped being a fighter.
Now, if it would have been earlier, if MMA would have been as big like now, like when you started wrestling, do you think you would have went into it, or do you think you always would have went into wrestling?
To be honest with you, if MMA was what it is now back then, and I was getting paydays to where I could eat better, I probably would have stayed a fighter, because my father always wanted me to be a champion, and I won a lot of fights, and I just basically fought to eat. I didn't fight to win belts. I fought to win money. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't one of those fighters who was we didn't train every day for one fight to win a trophy. I trained to fight the next week, and to knock a guy out and to, beat the hell out of him before, the third round, so that it wouldn't go to a decision. And a lot of the guys, like some of the guys I fought were legitimately really good fighters, and some of the guys I fought were legitimately scrubs. And I can actually remember a fight where Hardbody had me go in, and it was south of Atlanta, like about an hour south of Atlanta, and it was this redneck bar, and Hardbody had me sitting there, and I'm like, dude, this is the country I've ever been to. And like he literally told me to get in the ring, and I said I have to knock him out by the third round, or I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. And so I went out there, and I'm beating the hell out of this guy, in the corner, and the referee's not pulling me back. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And he's covering up, turning his back to me, and I'm still punching. The referee's not pulling me back. I hit him so hard, he hits the floor, okay? In the second round, he's down. The referee starts counting. When he gets to 80, the guy's trying to get up. So the referee puts his hand under the guy's armpit and helps him up and stands him up. And as soon as I start coming towards him, the referee calls for the bell and rings the bell. And we were only like about maybe 45, 50 seconds into the second round. By the time the third round came, I just started pummeling him, and they called the fight in 30 seconds, and I was like, oh, I won. And literally, they said, going to a decision, and they raised his hand.
Oh.
Yeah, so, it was fights like that just made me tired of fighting, because I was fighting to eat, and WWE came on with the offer, and I was bodyguarding and fighting, and it was, it was a very hard life to be on the road watching somebody, and to go home and to start beating the hell out of people, and back and forth just to feed yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hardbody Harrison, that was a WCW wrestler, right?
Huh?
Was Hardbody Harrison? That's the same guy who was a WCW wrestler.
Yeah, Hardbody was a WCW wrestler and FX Tough Man champion.
Okay. Did you ever try to get to WCW?
Actually, I was first trained by Sergeant William Cruz. And Sarge is the one who actually got me ready for WWE.
Okay.
And I thank God every day that I met Sarge. I haven't talked to him in many years, and I hope, I know when his mother passed away, he kind of went down for a little bit, but he's one of those guys who is honestly just a humble guy who was willing to give anything he could to anybody who wanted to learn about the business. And, him and Ted Watley gave me a lot, and I really appreciated it. So, he actually helped train me, but at no time was I ever trying to get into WCW. I lived in Atlanta, and a couple of my boys had wrestled WCW, Big 4x4 and Big 4 for Nomadic Soldiers. We were actually bodyguards together, and they're the ones who suggested I go into Tough Enough.
Yeah. Actually, nobody brought that up. I kind of think, because we had the Sarge on, I think it was like last year, and I kind of think he mentioned you as guys that he helped, that he trained, and that he's proud of in the business.
Man, honestly, Sarge was one of those guys where the first thing I wanted to do when I made it big was to do something for him, and I've never had a chance to pay him back for his kindness, because Sarge didn't charge me not one dime, not one penny, not 1 cent. Okay, he just saw a big kid who had an opportunity to go to WWE, and I just wanted to learn. And I let Sarge put the shit out of me, put the hell out of me. He told me to run, I ran. He told me to jump, I jumped. He told me to hit the ropes, I hit the ropes. Whatever he wanted me to do, I would do. And he just saw that enthusiasm in me, and he trained me. And I was just grateful and thankful for that. And I've always wanted to pay him back, and I've never got the opportunity to. And that's just one of the things I'm upset at myself for.
Yeah, some people really liked the guy, some people didn't, and you didn't mind the hard training. Do you think that's what people really need to respect the business and make it in wrestling?
Well, you know what? I'm not one of those. I'm not a die-hard wrestler to the point where I don't understand that we all come into this business from different directions. This isn't a one-stream business. You can't do 4 years and then you're off as a wrestler. There's so many different ways, there's so many different avenues to get into the business, and whichever way you come into it, that's just yours. The only thing I can always ask is that anybody who comes to the business, always remember, you are nobody without somebody. Okay? Because you're nobody without somebody. Okay? John Cena's not a star if there is no Randy Orton. Randy Orton is no star if there is no Mark Henry. Mark Henry is no star if there is no Big Show. You know? None of us are stars if there are no fans out there cheering us on. You know, and admiring us, respecting us for what we do. So when you come into the business, always remember, you're nobody without somebody. So treat everybody with respect.
Mm-hmm. Now, you brought up John Cena, and I remember at the time, it's been a bunch of times, but he was getting some boos, and it seemed like they teamed up with you guys, and the crowd really started cheering him because you guys, like you said earlier, you guys were one of the most popular acts in WWE at the time. Did you feel like that? Maybe they put him with you so he would get some of the. I mean, obviously he's a big star, and you guys would get the rub, but also you guys were so popular, it kind of helped some of the people that were booing him cheer him for him.
Well, it worked. It worked for both of us, and
yeah.
I personally thought it was good. Jay personally thought it was good. I can't tell you how John felt about it because I'm not John. But what I'm saying, this is the way they went. What I'm saying, we honestly thought it could have been better. It could have been something bigger than what I'm saying. Like what DX had. What I'm saying, but it just kind of seemed like no matter what we did, we were still Cryme Tyme. He was still just John Cena. We were never. It's like we were trying to fit together, but I think there was a creative part that was missing that wouldn't let us just be unified and just be all together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you think of the old DX. I'm not talking about Hunter and Sean. I'm talking about the old DX with Hunter, Sean, Road Dogg, Jesse James, and Billy Gunn and China. When you look at old DX, they weren't just Hunter and Sean. They were DX.
Mm-hmm.
And one didn't really outshine all the others. They all fit together, and ran as a wave. I really never felt like we ran as a wave. We ran as John Cena and Cryme Tyme. Cryme Tyme and John Cena. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
What did you think about when they added Slam Master Jay with the group for a while?
Loved it.
I thought it was some of the funnier vignettes, too.
Honestly, I think what's cool. I think Slam Master is one of the guys where, a lot of people underestimate. They talk bad about him, but the man he's a second generation wrestler who is extremely talented. You know what I'm saying? Granted, he might not be the best on the microphone as himself, but as Slam Master Jay, man, he was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And he was annoying and entertaining to the point where you wanted to cheer for him. He didn't care. You wanted him to be part of the crew. You wanted him to be down. I think sometimes though fans they try to predict too much what's going to happen, and rather than just letting it go and just enjoying it like it's what it's for. It's entertainment. I thought Slam did a great job. I'm never been one of those guys because I'm not a wrestler. I'm an entertainer. And I can't wrestle like Slam Master Jay. He's an amazing wrestler. And the way he got his body into shape from where he was when he was with Texas to when he was with us was mind-boggling to me because he had ass on top of ass.
Right. So something it was talked a lot about on the internet, and I don't know, what the real story is when you guys first left WWE the first time, and the story was that there was some type of incident with you guys and Cade and Murdoch. What was the real reason you guys left WWE, or was that the real reason?
That was the exact real reason. That was the exact real reason. We had a problem. They didn't like us. We didn't like them. We literally bent over backwards to try to work with them on every occasion. Cade, God rest the guy's soul. Lance is a good guy. Lance is a good guy with me at points in my career. And then Lance could be that asshole that you just never want to be around. And that's not speaking ill of the dead, because the dead is not here. That's just being honest about who the man really was. And this is people who know him. Lance Cade, the man, respect him, love him. He's a wonderful father to his kids and to his daughters, and he's a decent husband to his wife. You know what I'm saying? But Lance Cade, the wrestler, was an asshole. And he buried a lot of guys, and he shit on a lot of guys. He shit on his own partner. you know. And it's just like when you get that Cade, bad things happen, and we had a bad time, you know. We all shook hands and kisses made up afterwards, you know what I'm saying? A few months after it all went down, but you know, it was what it was. We were released. We were fired for 3 months, and we were right back hired as soon as our time was up, because like everybody knew we were going to come back. You know, it wasn't one of those things where we walking out the door and they were like, goodbye, never see you again. It was one of those things where we walking out the door like, you'll be back in a few months. So we don't even take it as a firing. We take it as a paid vacation.
Yeah. You talked about Cade. What are your thoughts on Murdoch?
I mean, Trevor's Trevor.
Yeah.
You know, Trevor's not a bad guy. Trevor's not a great guy. He's not gonna go out of his way, but you know, he'll go out of his way for certain people. But you know, Trevor's Trevor. You know, and I really have no ill will towards Trevor. You know, I mean, honestly, the first person that called me when Cade got released was Trevor. You know, and I remember exactly. Me and Jay were in Las Vegas and we're in a hotel, and my phone is ringing, and I'm like, I put my girl at the time, and I just let it ring and vibrate off the hook, and I just ignored it when I got up. I was like, did Trevor call you? He was like, Murdoch? He was like, yeah. I was like, nah. And when you had checked the voicemail, you know, he told me that, you know, it was like him telling me Lance got released. And I was like, you know, he told me the whole story of why he got released and everything else like that. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of surprising that the first phone call we get for this is Trevor. But, yeah, you know, it was what it was.
Intro, did you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question from Changeman on the message board. He's wanting to know what you thought of Mark Henry's title reign recently.
You know what? I honestly just found out Mark was a champion because I was at a powerlifting gym here called Metroflex, and I was talking about him, and one of the guys was like, oh yeah, Mark Henry's a champion now. And I was like, damn, it's about damn time. You know?
Yeah.
It's about damn time. Mark Henry, come on, guys. That's one of the hardest working guys in this business. Who has proven time and time again he is not an Olympic athlete coming into wrestling. He's a wrestler. Okay? He's come back from so many injuries. Okay? Changed his weight up. Okay? Dieted. He become more intense. Done everything he needed to do. Mark Henry is a pro wrestler. And he's had to prove that for how many years? Since I was in high school, he has to prove that. All right? And I'm 30 now. So, you know, it's about time Mark Henry got a chance to be the world heavyweight champion, okay? And not just the ECW champion, you know, but the world heavyweight champion, a title that Ric Flair has held, okay? A title that Ron Simmons has held. That's to me, that's awesome. You know, and it has nothing to do with he's black. It has everything to do with the fact is that he earned it every step of the way.
He's been there for 15 years, and there's always been rumors that they've, at different times, they've did some things to him, trying to get him to quit WWE. And do you think any of that's true, or do you think just, you know, some people just
you guys understand, we're in a system where you don't know what they're doing to you, if it's for fun, if it's for, you know, toughening you up, getting you to quit. You don't know what the hell they're doing to you. They had Carlito run through a wall with a black hole painted on it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Maybe in someone's mind, maybe that was a good idea. You never know.
You know what? Whatever mind it was at the time, I'm pretty sure it was a good idea. You know, but in hindsight, you know, we know WWE is like any other entity. You know, they make mistakes, they do things. We all, whatever they throw at you, you gotta learn to take, because that's the name of our business. You have to learn how to taste shit. Plain and simple. You have to learn how to love the taste of rejection, of not getting what you feel you deserve, because you know what? It's going to happen a lot in your career.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you can do is open your mouth, swallow it all down, and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Are you going to stick with the wrestling business, or are you just looking at other avenues?
You know what? There's no way to get out of the wrestling business. There's no way to get out of the wrestling business. I don't care what you do. Once you lace up your boots and get in that ring, you're in the wrestling business for the rest of your life. That's just plain and simple, honestly. And, you know, I love professional wrestling. I don't like it. I love professional wrestling. I love the business. I love the time of the ring. I love the time of the road. I love the politics in the back. I love every single part of this business. Okay? And so right now, I'm dealing with another business. Right now, I'm acting. You know, and just like professional wrestling, it's an increasingly hard business to stay in. You know, and you got to learn to love the piece of shit in this business just as well.
What kind of acting have you been doing?
Actually, I just filmed a TV show 2 weeks ago, and it's going to air in January. What's it called? I also was up for a really good role in Charlie's Angels, and unfortunately, they got canceled. So that pissed me off a lot. Because I literally had to fly out for that audition, and I nailed it, and I was like, great. And you know, they called my agent, and they were like, yeah, they're all hyped about you, they like you. They put an offer on the table. I said, great, let's whatever the offer is, I don't care, let's take it. You know, because I just wanted to be on another prime. Because I've already done 2 prime time shows that are going to air next year, and that would be my 3rd. And I was really looking forward to having 3 primetime shows airing all next year. You know what I'm saying? So everybody could be like, oh, so Chad has been doing things. But it's okay. I'm cool. You know, when my agent called me and said, okay, he thinks the show's going to get canceled, I was like, are you sure? I was like, you think? He's like, well, the casting has pulled everything they've been posting. So that usually means the show's being canceled. And I was like, please no. And so he called me and told me, like, a few days ago, he's like, yeah, the show got canceled, but it's okay. You know, you still have a lot of things coming up, and you're doing really well. I was like, thanks. So, but yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got any interest in going in TNA?
You know what? I actually called the office because I wanted to see if there's any interest in me. And hey, Shelton. No, I'm sitting on Shelton Benjamin's driveway. He's outside my car right now. And I'm gonna lock my door right now. Oh, hold on. Hold on, roll the window down. Hey, what's up, dog?
License and registration, please.
License and registration? What do I need my license and registration for?
License and registration, please.
I don't need my. I'm sir. I'm just.
That's another question.
Oh, he has a shotgun. He has a shotgun. Shelton Benjamin has a shotgun on me right now. You just heard it click, right? Yeah, I'm doing a radio interview right now. You know that, right? I'm doing a radio interview right now, and you have a shotgun on me. Really? This is live.
Live. What
in your head.
In your head online.
No. You guys are speakerphone. I can hear you guys.
We can hear him, yeah. This is in your head.
Oh, in your head. Yo, you're getting an exclusive cameo from Shelton Benjamin, a.k.a. the Gold Standard, a.k.a. the guy holding the shotgun to one Shad Gaspard's head. Because you know he's known to be a thief, so of course, whenever he's in my neighborhood, I keep good old Bessie. Oh, hey. So how's the interview going?
I think it's doing well. What do you think, Shad?
It's doing pretty well. Is Mr. Gaspard giving you all the information that you need?
I think he's doing pretty good here.
We're in a pretty good situation.
I told you I'm doing good, boss. I told you I'm doing good.
You know, well, I'm glad Mr. Gaspard is being a great guest for you. And if you have any problems with him, feel free to let me know because, like I said, I'm always ready to wrap this shotgun up his posterior. And you know what? I'm going to let you guys continue your interview. Hello to all the wrestling fans. You know, I hope Shad Gaspard is doing his best to bring his wrestling knowledge, his wrestling take to your fine program. And you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelton. Good stuff in ROH.
Oh, man. Because actually, I was driving while I was doing the interview, and I was driving to Shelton's house. So I was like, I'm just sitting in the driveway just talking to you guys. That's why.
Can we get any dirt on Shelton?
No, Shelton Benjamin. He's awesome, man. I love Shelton Benjamin. I don't care what you guys say about Shelton Benjamin. I don't know.
Hey, he's got a shotgun right now.
So. He's doing really good in ROH right now.
Oh, they're doing amazing. Him and Charlie, man. Him and Charlie Andrews now taught me and Jay a lot, and there's not a lot of tag teams like that no more in business where they teach you as you work. Very few guys teach you as you work, and a lot of guys don't want to learn while they work. They want to plan everything on the back rather than just go out there and entertain. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Which that's an art that is dying with the younger generation, but a lot of the older guys, they've been there for so long, they know it. So it's like you don't need to plan every single move. You just need to relax and feel the crowd and entertain. So.
Mm-hmm. Is that how you would work on Raw and in WWE, or would they mostly go over the matches beforehand?
That's honestly how I would rather go over things, because that's how I was raised, by Shelton, by Charlie, by Doug, Basham, by Nick Dinsmore, by guys like Mark Batista. It's just more fun, rather than making it a job to where you have to memorize. And if you forget one thing, you're automatically screwed, because you think the crowd knows you forgot one thing. But when you're just improvising the match, just having fun, and you know where you need to go, and you just get there in whatever way feels comfortable, you save so much energy, you don't feel as tired, and you just have more fun. But that's the name of the game.
Mm-hmm. I just want to bring this up. James Bright sent this in on Facebook, and he wanted you to know that his 7-year-old autistic son, Jordan, was a big fan of you guys, and he always had a problem saying your name, but he always enjoyed Cryme Tyme.
Oh, man. Tom, I appreciate it so much. Honestly, man, you know what, man? A fan once said to me today, was like, man, I think Shad Gaspard really likes his fans. And I told him be quiet, because they would hear you. Because, honestly, man, like, I'm not a guy that has ever shied away from people. I run 2 fans, and the only time that's ever turned out bad for me was at a show where these kids were getting crushed by fans because they were in front and people were pushing on them. And I actually literally jumped in the crowd and pushed everybody back off these kids. And while I was in the crowd, I'm trying off the kids, this lady got a little overzealous, and she started writing her phone number on my $400 T-shirt. And literally, I just lost it. And Jay had to come to the crowd and kick me. So, like, I jumped in the crowd to see the kids, and Jay jumped in the crowd to see the ladies. Because I was like, bitch, are you crazy?
So, Ben Hodges, he wants to know, why didn't Cryme Tyme ever win the tag titles, despite being massively over?
Man, honestly, man, you know what? We never needed the titles to be over. And we were always told, what we were told was, you guys don't need the titles to be over. So what? I mean, the titles were actually being passed to guys who they were trying to make them into more legitimate tag teams, or passed to guys who were trying to build up as tag teams. Cade and Murdoch with the tag team titles, I don't know how many times, and nobody ever clapped for them. We used to have a joke when they used to come out and said the crowd goes mild. You know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of tag teams like that. When they walk out to that curtain and they make you explain, you can literally, only hear them and the music. That's it. You don't hear boo, you don't hear cheer. And when the crowd's not booing and they're not cheering you, you're doing something wrong. They can do something. And if your match is the popcorn match, which we used to say, where if they go out there, it's popcorn, it's popcorn right here. Popcorn first going to go for this match, because everybody's going to walk away and go get popcorn, then you have a problem. The thing about it is, in our matches, whether it was me versus Jay or whether it was us as a team, the crowd made a noise. When I was coming out the heel, people didn't like me as a heel. They hated me as a heel. They booed the hell out of me. But at the same time, they cheered me. So I had people cheering and booing me. That's a reaction.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, we really appreciate coming on tonight. It's been a lot of fun, and we want to let you go before Shelton comes back out with the shotgun.
Yeah, I know that is.
But it was a really good time, and we'll be back sometime. And we wish you all the luck in your acting career and wrestling if you get back to it. Whatever you do in the future.
Oh, man, thank you guys very much. Let you guys know, man, I've done 2 primetime TV shows coming out next year. I've done 3 movies this year.
Oh, okay.
I've done 3 movies this year. two of them in the United States, one of them overseas, and the one that's overseas is really, really badass, where I had a really awesome action scene. Shit, I can't remember how to say his name right now, but he's a Filipino actor, and we just went at it, and it was amazingly fun. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to come out here in the States because Americans don't really get Filipino or Korean movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing very well. I'm doing very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I honestly, like, you know, I always have fans asking me, how you doing? You know, and, you know, I know you guys wrestlers have to work like, 9 to 5 jobs after WWE. No, I was very smart with my money. You know, I have a beautiful wife who, you know, is in Texas right now. She won the, she just placed first in overall to become Miss Texas Bikini.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so we're pretty happy with that, and I'm just doing really, really well right now.
That's cool. Just one last thing here, because this came in. I don't know if this is someone knows you what, but they asked me. Ash had to recite Shakespeare. I don't know if this is an in joke or what.
No, I actually know how to see. I actually know Shakespeare.
Oh, okay.
Very well.
I wonder why this person knew that. I don't know. Any favorite quote?
You know what? Off the top of my head, on the spot, here, I can give you one. It's kind of long, though.
Okay.
All right? To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it's noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous misfortune, or to take arms against obscure troubles, and by opposing, end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep to save, end the heart's sake, and 1,000 natural shocks the flesh is heir to. To the consummation, the value to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Ah, there's the rub. For unless the death where dreams may come, we suffer loss this mortal quarrel may give us pause. There's the respect of calamity, so long life. For who bear the whips and scorns of time, for the dread of something after death. The undiscovered country, for whom born no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us bear those ills we have, rather than flies with those we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the naked hue of revolution is sickly oared with the pale cloth of thought and enterprise, great pith and moment. With this their currents turn awry, and they lose the name of action.
Oh, that was sweet.
Excellent. First time we ever had Shakespeare on the show.
Uh-huh.
First time a Shakespeare on the show from a wrestler. Oh, my gosh.
I remember they asked the same question to Spike Dudley back on Beyond the Mat, but he just gave like a one-word Shakespeare quote, I think.
Yeah, I think Shad's was better here.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man, and we had a great time, and we'll talk to you again sometime.
No worries, guys. You gotta be safe, right?
What's up?
You gotta be safe, right?
All right, you too, man. Can we skip here for 1 second?
Hi, this is Tony, Mr. USA Atlas, and I'm in your head online.com.